It's hot as heck in the Bay Area. It's getting mighty hot in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We reached the semifinal round. Wait, what? We'll tell you about that, about the 4 teams in it, who are we picking to go to the Cup, and more. Right now, this is Teal Town Live. But first, good evening, everyone. It is Saturday night, June 12th, 2021. Yes, there's a classic Montreal-Vegas round 3 matchup we were all expecting. No way. And the Islanders taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. But welcome to Teal Town Live. This is your live interactive show. We're doing this every round, so if you want to be part of it, chat with us and fellow hockey fans on the page or the app. And, of course, follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Reddit. And, of course, hit us up on the Discord after the show. And then, of course, find everything at tealtownusa.com. Good evening, everyone. I am Erik Kuhre alongside the angry Canadian robot. He is Mr. Ian Reid. Ian, are you there? Oh, this is
Skype.
There you go. Skype being a butt. There you are.
Yep.
All right.
Skype's being a butt.
Yep. Hashtag AOL for me. All right. Well, we're down to the final 4, and definitely not what definitely not the final 4 I think we were expecting. Ian, but,
this is what we all predicted. I mean, everyone's brackets, I'm sure, are just in great shape right now.
But yours is still in good shape, kind of. At least half of it, right?
Parts of it are. I mean, I did have the Islanders in my bracket in the Final 4, although I went against that pick on our last show. I did have Vegas in the Cup final, so far that is still on pace to pan out, although they do have to beat the Canadiens, and I don't think that... I mean, we're going to talk about it, obviously, but I don't think that's like... I feel really good about it, but I don't think that you should take a team that just won 7 straight games lying down either.
Right. What did you think of the second round? Surprised at Winnipeg? Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this on Teal Tinted Glasses a couple nights ago. I really, Winnipeg to me, kind of a death by 1,000 cuts thing, right? I mean, I don't think Stastny was anywhere near 100%. Losing Dylan DeMello in the first game hurt. Mark Scheifele getting suspended hurt. So if you would have known those things going into the round, obviously you don't know those things. So when I made the pick, like I said, healthy Winnipeg, healthy Montreal, like Montreal shouldn't win the series, but Montreal shouldn't have won the last series either. Right. But yeah, I mean, if you go back, obviously it panned out very differently. The Jets went from sweeping a team to getting swept. So yeah, I mean, it was that, like, for me, it was kind of death by 1,000 cuts for Winnipeg. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's, Montreal team is the one that moved on, and they were the better team.
Yeah, and with great, I mean, even Connor Hellebuyck was decent, but I mean, consistent, he was solid goaltending.
He was the only thing that made that series remotely interesting. I mean, it was, and I think that was the thing. The hockey in that series was boring too. That was the other thing. Like, I'm glad it was a sweep because there was some boring hockey in that series.
Let me ask you, how were you about Vegas, Colorado? I thought it was good, but yet a little disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas, I know I'm gonna make everyone angry, but Vegas was the better team for the majority of that series. I thought it'd be a little bit tighter. Yeah. But like, really, I thought that, like, even like after the first period of game 2, there was a stretch where Vegas was the better team. And yeah, Colorado got that game 2 victory in overtime, but which made that series look a little more even than it was. But up until maybe game 5, I thought Colorado finally figured Vegas out for a little bit, but then Vegas adapted again, and then game 6, I thought again Vegas was the better team. Colorado, I mean, it was some good hockey though. Like, it was really exciting hockey, but I thought Vegas was the better team for large stretches of that series.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Colorado, I mean, I had Vegas because I think Vegas is really good, and when I made the pick, I brought it down to goaltending, and goaltending was absolutely the difference in that series. Marc-Andre Fleury was significantly better than Philip Grubauer. Obviously, they played. That first game was obviously a laugher for the Avalanche, but I don't even think, like, even if you put Marc-Andre Fleury in net instead of Robin Lehner, I don't think it changes that game all that much because Colorado was just all over them.
Yeah. No, I think game 1 kind of teased us, saying, "Oh shoot, that Colorado was here on it," and then of course, game 2, Colorado gets the power play, and Rantanen wins the game to go up 2-0. But Vegas had pretty much dominated that game for the most part, and then they
did, yeah. After the first period, I thought it was very much all Golden Knights.
Right, and then game 3 and 4 in their barn, they were lights out, and then overtime. Here I am waiting to for like a epic 3 overtime game, because that's I mean, why not? Because it seems like that's what is going to happen, and of course, like less than a minute, Mark Stone gets it, and then Vegas does it again.
Game over, yeah.
Tampa, Carolina, I thought that was a decent series for going 5.
Was for a 5-game series, it was good. I really enjoyed that series. Unfortunately, didn't go the distance. It would have been more. I really wanted that to go the distance, because that was a really good series. Like, that was a much more back and forth series than I thought it was a tighter series than I think you would have expected to get out of the Colorado Vegas series. Like, if you actually watched the games, you would think that would have been the tighter series, but really I thought that the Tampa Bay Carolina series was a lot tighter.
Yeah, and kudos to Tampa. They just outwit them. I mean, yeah, Carolina got 1 game, but they, Tampa Bay really took care of them.
Yeah, and I think I question. I know Nedeljkovic let in a really bad goal, but I question the decision to go to Mrazek for 2 games before going back to Ned. And I thought Ned was outstanding that last game, even though they got eliminated. I thought Nedeljkovic was really, really good. And maybe it doesn't change anything, but I do question going to Peter Mrazek for 2 games.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that, but that's the hill that Brindamore had to die on, and unfortunately,
yeah, I mean, you want to try and change momentum, and
yeah.
a lot of people are going to be mad, obviously, because I know there's a lot of sour people like in Carolina over the salary cap things, but the thing with that is that they're not the first team to do it.
No,
they're probably the most egregious example of doing it, definitely. But I mean, Chicago won a cup because Patrick Kane was injured until the playoffs, and then they went and won a cup, and they were over the salary cap. And a lot of teams slide over the salary cap, maybe not by $18 million, but this isn't new.
Yeah, and I mean, Toronto did it last year, wasn't as egregious. I mean, Vegas, I think, had it a little bit too. We won't even get on about Hossa and being allergic to hockey equipment per se.
Yeah, I mean, it's been done. So I understand being upset. Like, I'm not telling them not to be upset they lost. Like, I'd be upset. Like, yeah, it would, if I was more invested and my team got lost to a team that was $18 million over the salary cap, like, I could understand that being annoying. But it's been made out like Tampa's the only team that's done this. A lot of teams have done this.
Yeah. Oh. Were you surprised by the Islanders Boston?
Yes. Yeah, I was surprised a little bit because I thought like that series was tricky. That was a tricky one to call because I thought that there was large stretches of that of the previous series with the Penguins Islanders series where I thought the Penguins were the better team, and it kind of expected more of the same in the Boston series, but that wasn't the case. Like there was a couple games where Boston definitely, was the better team and like was out shooting them like 2.5 to 1. And I thought if they did that the whole series, then they weren't going to beat the Bruins. But there was, credit to them. They made the adjustments and they played a couple of, a few really, really even games with the Bruins. And I think if they can do that, then they can win games. I just think that if you're going up against teams with higher offense, that's you're kind of playing with fire when you're getting outshot 2.5 to 1.
Right.
But I was surprised that they were able to put Boston away, probably as quickly as they did too. And then obviously Tuukka Rask needing hip surgery. That obviously doesn't help anything. But no, full marks to the Islanders because I didn't think they were going to be able to hang with the Bruins. And you know what? They keep proving people wrong. A lot of people
Right.
sleep on this team a lot. And this is 2 years in a row where they're in the conference final / semifinals. So obviously there's something to it.
Yeah. No, and there's something to it, and a little bit of grain and salt that former Toronto GM Lou Lamoriello, it takes the Islanders to the third round back-to-back years, and maybe the Islanders fans were right to Tavares saying we don't need you. I don't know. It's crazy,
Yeah,
and to do that without Anders Lee as well, their current captain.
Yeah, again, full credit to them. Like they play a very they play their style and they play it really well. And I know a lot of people are like, oh well, Lou Lamoriello is so great. Yeah, Lamoriello is great, but hiring the Stanley Cup winning coach, it's not exactly like it was rocket science there. Like, oh, the Stanley Cup winning coach is free. Maybe we should hire that guy. But and I do give credit because I think Lamoriello has made some moves, but I think he gets a lot of. It's one of those situations where, to me anyway, where a guy comes in and gets probably more credit than he should for the previous regime's work.
I get you, and it makes sense a little bit too. So, but I do like Barry Trotz. That's a great pickup from the Islanders. I think Washington's really regretting letting him go now, as they have
I think another example of that would be like Stan Bowman, who got a lot of credit for Dale Talon's work.
Yep, definitely. So let's take a look at the bracket as we've gone through 2 rounds here. So again, these are the Stanley Cup semifinals because they are not in conferences this year. So
Correct.
What they've done is taken the winners of the first 2 series and reseeded them 1 through 4. So that's why if you were to look in the West bracket, you see Vegas with the number 2 seed. And now all of a sudden they're number 1. They are the highest seed left. Tampa is number 2, Islanders 3, and Montreal at 4. In fact, Montreal was, 18th?
18th in the league, yes.
Getting in mainly because they were in the North.
And backed in, and apparently they did not back out, as I so passionately predicted.
They haven't backed out just yet, but we will begin over on the full Eastern side. So technically, in a way, it is the Eastern Conference Final for the Tampa Bay Lightning and New York Islanders, a rematch of the third round in the bubble last year.
Yeah.
Is this... I want to give the Islanders more hope and credit than I think a lot of people are going to say. I think a lot of people are going to say Tampa easily.
I don't think easily.
You don't think easily?
No.
What says you, Mr. Reid?
I think Tampa probably... I think Tampa should win this series. I think Tampa's the better team, and I think they will win this series. But I don't think the Islanders are just going to roll over for them. I think it's going to be probably Tampa. I'm saying Tampa in 6. I don't think this is going to be a quick series. I think the Islanders can, we've seen the Islanders win games where they are getting outshot, I think their goaltending has been good enough that they should be able to hang with Tampa. I think they play a good team. Like they have a very good team game that they play. From top to bottom, they all play. They don't rely on certain guys more than others, which I think helps a lot. They kind of roll 1 through 4. I mean, obviously some guys get a little more ice time than others, but it's a lot of their ice time's pretty evenly distributed. And I think so, they can hit you with 4 pretty fresh lines a lot of the time. And I think you can win. I think, and we've seen them, you can win games like that through attrition. I just don't know if that would be enough to beat Tampa. I just think Tampa has so many ways that they can hurt you. And once they get ahead, I think if they can get out to the lead, I think that's where the Islanders can get in trouble. If the Islanders can keep it even and they can, or they can hold the lead or they can keep it even, I think they're fine. But I think their ability to come back in a track meet, I don't like their odds there. And I think Tampa can make some games a track meet where, if you're going to beat them, you might have to beat them 6-5. And I don't like the Islanders to score you 6 goals in a game.
No, I mean they have some good skill players. I think
Absolutely.
Like Brock Nelson has really come on in the second round. Jordan Eberle, which escaped a blue and orange team to go to another blue and orange team and has done good things. Josh Bailey. By the way, I love the chants coming out of Nassau, and the one that's specifically for Josh Bailey is great. But yeah, I'm with you on Tampa. I think they fight and claw their way into a 7-game series. I think Tampa's going to hang on to it, but I think the Islanders are really going to give them a run for their money. In my mind, I think I love Braden Point. Stamkos is doing his thing. Kucherov and company. I mean, Hedman. I mean, I just think they're just a little bit above them. At the same time, though, I kind of said that about Boston taking care of it. That they were just having a lineup that's too good to pick them. So to me, it's Tampa in 7, but the Islanders are really going to give them a run for their money.
Yeah, I think I don't want to make it sound like I'm sleeping on this Islanders team, because I'm not. I think they're a really good team. I just think Tampa's the defending champs for a reason. Patrick asking a good question in the chat, actually. It's like, how are they awarding the Prince of Wales and Campbell trophies? My understanding is they are not this year.
That is correct. They are not awarding it to because those are per se conference champion trophies. I mean, in a sense, you can maybe, give it out to the top Eastern team, but you have one over in on the West side, which will be weird and.
Yes, we won't have the will there. Won't they touch the trophy this year? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the merch is going to be then. You can't say Eastern Conference champions or Western Conference champions. Are they just going to say Stanley Cup bound?
Stanley Cup final? I don't know.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup semifinal champion? I have no idea. It's interesting because that's a real for a league that's kind of really hurting for money. That's who wants a Stanley Cup semifinal champion? Do you want that hat? Maybe for just to have it.
I mean,
but
just think if it was the Sharks doing their run in 2016 now, and it's their first time going to the Cup final, and you don't have Western Conference champions, you have Stanley Cup final participant.
I don't know. Yeah, here's your participation ribbon.
Right.
It's a good question.
So
maybe they're gonna put out hats for winning their going into the third round. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
North Division champion or West.
And that's the other.
I wonder if.
Sorry, but
that's okay.
That's the other thing too. Is who's really the North Division champion? Is it Toronto for regular season, or is it?
No, it's the Montreal. Team that made it out. It's Montreal.
It's Montreal.
Montreal made it out of the playoffs. They made it out of the North. They are the North Division champions.
There we go.
Or the Kings of the North.
Kings of the North. The one I heard was We the North. OUI. I
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah. I do like that. Just also because it's the dig at Toronto, which amazing.
And the controversy of lighting the CN Tower in Toronto and Montreal colors continues up in there. So we go from Tampa Bay in New York to that classic matchup in the playoffs between Las Vegas and Montreal. Okay.
Yes.
The revenge series for Max Pacioretty and and Nick Suzuki / Tomas Tatar.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think there's a lot of levels you can go here. You can go with the who is the more obnoxious fan playoff, because that.
There goes AOL again. Hang on, Ian.
24 Stanley Cups that they were alive for one of them.
Yeah. My thing is this, and we saw the one video that went around Twitter about how the Vegas fan just takes off with the Avalanche flag, and then the Knights fans decide to go after him, which is really classy.
No, I mean, but that shit happens in all fan bases. I know it's really easy. I know it's easy because it's dunks on the. Okay, so. Oh, there we go. So Felix is okay. So they are going to give the Campbell Bowl will go to the winner of the Golden Knights Montreal Canadiens. Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Go NHL. They must have just decided to change that because before the playoffs, I was pretty sure they said they weren't going to award any trophies. But maybe they changed their mind because obviously they realized, hey, we need money, and now we have to semifinal champion. I don't know what the hell they're gonna call it, but I mean, I feel like they're just you have to have some merch there. But I mean, back to the Vegas thing. I mean, as much as it's easy to just be like, oh yeah, of course it's Vegas fans, they're the worst, but that shit happens in a ton of different arenas. There's some shameful things that happen across the league. Some obviously in some buildings more than others, absolutely. And I'm not trying to white knight Vegas fans here. I just feel like they're an easy target.
They are, and Vegas kind of added on.
Well, then they don't help. They obviously look at Vegas fans can be very obnoxious, and I'm not all, some,
some.
But like anything else, right? Your most obnoxious it's always the ones that are the loudest that get all the attention. It's not the people that just sit in their seat and watch the game and enjoy the game like a normal human being. Yeah. But yeah, I mean it's a crappy thing, but again, I don't think this isn't a Vegas problem. This isn't. I think there's a lot of hyperbole about, oh, they don't respect the game and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, go watch a game in Philly. Do they respect the game there? Of course they do, right? But
yeah. So Felix, to just finish it up, pasted the tweet. The Stanley Cup semifinals are set. In addition to a spot in the Stanley Cup final, the winner of the Golden Knights Montreal Canadiens will claim the Clarence Campbell Bowl, while the Islanders and Lightning will battle for the Prince of Wales trophy. Okay. So maybe they are Campbell Bowl champions and Prince of Wales trophy champions. So,
I'm sure someone will put up a banner for a conference, even though.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. Like maybe make it like Campbell Bowl trophy winner. Or like Stanley Cup finalist or something like that.
Stanley Cup participants.
Yeah, I mean, as weird as that sounds, as participants. but let's get focusing on this series.
Okay.
To me, is this just a delayed coronation for the Golden Knights?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how. I know. Look at. You can't take away anything from a team that has won 7 straight games. But if you saw the way Vegas handled Colorado and then look at Montreal and go, yeah, Montreal's going to be great in this series, and Montreal's going to just manhandle the Golden Knights after the way the Golden Knights handled Colorado. Like, I don't know. And of course, that means, Montreal's probably going to win, right? Because
Right.
Carey Price. I don't think this is going to be quick, though. Like, I think the Golden Knights are going to win this series. They should win this series. If they don't win this series, what is hockey at this point?
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a series. I think it's going to go, I don't know if it goes the distance, but it's not a sweep.
Yeah.
And I think a guy like I'm expecting a guy like Nick Suzuki to have a big series.
Yeah, you would think that he wants to show what Vegas traded away in there.
Yeah.
I want to say that it will be a long series, but I just can't see it being a long series. I don't think Montreal can handle the firepower that Vegas is going to throw at them. I mean, I'll get to this question a little bit, but Marchessault, or Mucho Salt, as I like to call him, has been dynamite for them. I mean, Stone came in with a clutch goal. Alex Pietrangelo gets the series-winning goal there. You combine that with Marc-Andre Fleury doing amazing things. And full disclosure to Carey Price. Carey Price has done phenomenal work for Montreal this playoff run.
Right. And my response to that, because that's what I've been getting a lot of too. Oh, well, are you going to go against Carey Price? Well, Carey Price can't score goals.
Right.
Right. Like, I have faith that, he can keep the Golden Knights off the board? Yeah, to a point. Can he score goals? No.
And my question is this: are they one Tyler Toffoli injury from Ryan Reeves away from just getting destroyed?
That's the problem, right? Like, I don't know how, if one of Montreal's top players goes down, I don't know how they recover from that.
Right.
If one of the Golden Knights top players go down, well, depends on which one. Let's see Marchessault, for example. Well, that's fine. Stone's still there. Pacioretty's still there. William Karlsson's still good for a goal when you need one.
Mm-hmm.
They can get offense from their blue line. Like, that's what my concern, right? Like, I hate that Vegas is like the thing that's keeping my bracket alive, but I mean, I can't look at, again, and I'm not trying to take away anything from the Canadiens to getting here, because they're here and they deserve to be here. They played a really good game, but no one's confusing Winnipeg for the Golden Knights. No one's confusing Toronto for the Golden Knights, for that matter. And with the way that Golden Knights just handled business in Colorado, the only thing that could work against them is if they, here's why I think that this could go some games, is if, because you just got through that series with Colorado, and maybe you take your foot off the gas a little. And I think that would be a dangerous thing to do against this Montreal team,
right,
is take your foot off the throttle a little. But after that series and knowing what's coming up,
mm-hmm.
that's a really easy thing to do, I think.
Right.
And, and as much as I hate to say it, but like, I mean, Vegas, a big part of the reason why Vegas got through that Colorado series is coaching, because they made adjustments. And then when Colorado switched some things up, it took a little bit, but they made adjustments again. And I just feel like even if Montreal comes out and steals a game, maybe they steal two. Yep. I have no trouble seeing the Golden Knights coming back and playing, and getting 4 straight wins and punching their ticket to the Cup final.
Yeah, I say Vegas in 5. I think Carey Price steals 1 game. It might even be the opening game.
I think if that's where, I think that's my thing too. I think if there's there's a way that the Canadiens are going to win games. It's going to be at the start. And because I feel like once the Golden Knights find their game, then they're going to be fine, and they should take care of business here. I'm gonna go 6 just because I'm gonna compensate for previous rounds where I haven't given the Canadiens any respect, and maybe I'm showing them too much respect now by giving them 6 games against the Golden Knights. But I think they might surprise us a little. I don't think they're going to surprise us to the point where they're going to the Stanley Cup final. And honestly, like, I understand we all hate Vegas, but with the way that the league copycats other teams, please God, don't let Montreal win the cup. Just, grab some construction paper and some duct tape and some glue sticks and make sure you have a good goalie, and boom, Stanley Cup. Because because there's always some GM that's going to galaxy brain this thing and think, well, why would you want to build a Colorado when, you can just build a Montreal?
Right. Oh, here's a perspective I was thinking about, because I believe Montreal is on a long streak without playing behind.
Yeah, I mean they've won 7 straight games. I know they haven't not had a lead in a long time.
Yeah. They're like on the verge of like almost 400 minutes.
Right.
The reason why I bring this up is the last team that got kind of close to them were I think the 2014 LA Kings, or excuse me, I'm sorry, I think it was the 2012 LA Kings. And to me, I kind of have a little bit of that feeling with Montreal. They fought hard in the first round. I think they took care of I think LA took care of the St. Louis, I think it was, in the second round with ease.
Mm-hmm.
You kind
that was a couple for the Kings, right?
Yeah, 2012. That was their first one.
That Kings team was so much better than this Montreal team. Like, even.
But Quick was all over it that playoff year.
Yeah, but let's remember who, like, again. But I still look back at that Kings team. That Kings team was, I mean, that Kings team was really, really good. I mean, between them and the Hawks,
right?
Like, they were the 2 best teams in the league at that stretch, and the Stanley Cups prove that.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I can see the parallels, but I think that LA team was a cup-built team. I don't know if Montreal even makes the playoffs in their division next year. Right?
If this was a regular, format and regular alignment, they wouldn't even made the playoffs this year.
And that's what I'm saying. Part. Like that LA team was, I mean, I think, like, they were as close. That LA team was as close to being as a dynasty as much as that Chicago team was, as you're going to get in this modern era of the NHL.
Yeah. Like,
I think, yeah, they, you could look at the way that they've won games, but I think the comparison ends there. Like, that doesn't make me feel any better for Montreal. Like, I just don't think this Montreal team is very good. They're good enough, and they've, credit to them, they beat the teams that are in front of them, and that's all you have to do.
Right.
But I don't know if they played in any other division, or if they had to get through the Tampas or the Floridas. Do they? I'm not sold.
No. I mean, I think they would give Florida a run for their money just because of their inexperience and the questionable goaltending on that end. But yeah, I can't see them getting past Carolina or Tampa. No.
Well, I mean, Carolina's would be in the Metro.
Or Metro, that's right. My bad. But I mean, a team like that.
But would they get through? Would they have gotten through Boston or Tampa?
Yeah, I don't
know. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect. Like, I don't want to disrespect them, because I think, again, you beat the teams that are in front of you. That's all you have to do. You could woulda, shoulda until the cows come home.
Yeah.
And they beat the teams in front of them. But I just think I can't believe anyone's going to be like, oh, well, look what they did to Winnipeg. How could you go against them? Yeah, Winnipeg, the Golden Knights are significantly better team than the Winnipeg Jets. Yep. I'll give them full marks for beating Toronto. But like again, I don't think that even if you look at the way they beat Toronto, are all the Golden Knights suddenly just gonna the Power's just gonna go out in their forward group? I don't see it.
Yeah.
Mark Stone's just gonna suddenly stop scoring goals. Pacioretty's gonna stop scoring goals.
That's a huge one too.
Rob a layup.
You know, Pacioretty going back to Montreal in this big series. That'll be an interesting one to see. So so you're picking Vegas in 6 then?
Vegas in 6. And it's probably too many games, but I'm gonna get. I think they can come out and stun the Golden Knights in game 1. Maybe they win another game along the way. But I feel like once Vegas gets rolling, it's going to be very, very ugly for Montreal, especially if Vegas gets going like they did against Colorado. Because if they could outplay Colorado for stretches of hockey, the way that they outplayed Colorado, Carey Price probably better than Philip Grubauer, but again, Carey Price can't score goals. Yeah. I'll give them 6. It's probably too many, but I'm fine with that.
Vegas in 5, and so we're both in agreement. It is Vegas versus Tampa Bay for our prognostications.
Yeah, I think that would be the Stanley Cup final, and that's the one we really want. I think. I mean, as a fan who just doesn't care, like about who wins, like I just want to watch good hockey. Like that's the Stanley Cup final I want. Although Vegas versus the Islanders wouldn't be. I don't think Vegas versus the Islanders would be a bad series either. But Vegas versus Tampa, I mean, that to me, that should be the best hockey of the entire. That could be the best series in the playoffs.
Coming from what we went through with, Vegas and Colorado being a little bit of a dud. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Tampa Carolina was good too. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I don't think it's going to be a kind of a letdown in that sense because I don't think either of these series are going to be that good. They're kind of just an appetizer for what comes next after the second round we had. Because we had some really, really good hockey in the second round, and I don't know if these games can live up to if these games will live up to that. But I'll be excited that there's actually gonna be hockey on again. So last night I was like,
yes.
Well, what do I do now? Like, I didn't know what to do with myself last night.
I not gonna lie, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? It's like, I already did the graphics for tonight. There's baseball on. Okay, great. Basketball is not really my fancy. It's like the default, of course, is rewatching the 5-minute power play if we absolutely needed to, because that's all we can really sit on right now at this point. But
don't worry, the broadcast will show it 6 more times next year.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is if it's Tampa Bay and Vegas, we better at least get one shot of Goodrow scoring on Fleury in Game 7. That's all I'm saying. Just one. That's all I'm saying. I don't care if it's just on one feed, whether it's the Canadian feed from Sportsnet and CBC or the NBC feed. Just give me a one time. That's it. That's it.
All right.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Pick out of the 4 teams remaining. I want you to prematurely give out a Conn Smythe Award to each team, each participating team. Because I
wish I could prepare for that one. Okay, off the top of my head, golly gee.
I'll let you think. I'm gonna with Vegas. It's a tough one. I mean, you can go Fleury, but I also hate to say Marchessault too.
Okay, Montreal's Carey Price. I think that goes without saying. Montreal's Carey Price. So that's the easiest one. Oh man, I don't know. Give me a second. I gotta look. Like
Tampa and the Islanders, it's a tough one because Varlamov hasn't started all the games. I think you can maybe go Brock Nelson on there. You can.
Yeah, I think you can make a case there. Give me a second here. I'll take something here.
But I'll ask you in the chat who right now is a Conn Smythe favorite right now. So to answer Stone's question, don't worry. I think he's doing a show tomorrow, and he's gonna have some prizes to hand out. So that'll be good.
Okay. I feel like so Montreal, Carey Price, not even a debate.
Yeah.
I feel like for Tampa Bay as a couple, Nikita Kucherov has got 18 points. So if he maintains that pace, then I think it's probably easily Nikita Kucherov. I think another dark horse for that one could be maybe Victor Hedman might get some votes as well, because the people like Victor Hedman. The Islanders. Josh Bailey would be a good one. I think Josh Bailey is a great one, but don't sleep on don't sleep on Jean-Gabriel Pageau either, who has 13 points. If he can continuously add to that point total, he could definitely be a front runner as well. And another, I don't know, man.
Yeah, for the Islanders, it's a tough one. But yeah, I like Josh
Islanders
Bailey.
is a toughie. Yeah, Josh Bailey's a good one. John Gabriel Pageau, also good.
Yeah,
I feel like if the Islanders go through, though, I know he hasn't been like he's been really, really good. I think another guy who, especially if they have to, obviously play the Golden Knights or Montreal in the final, likely the Golden Knights. Simeon Varlamov might get some votes as well.
Yeah, even though he didn't start all of them, and
yeah, but I mean, you're gonna win it for it's the most valuable player for the whole playoffs, and
true
recency bias.
Yeah,
absolutely is a thing in the later rounds. So, and I feel like he's been really good, and if he can keep those scoring down, and he can get the Islanders to the Cup final, I think you could definitely make an argument for Varlamov.
All right, there you have it, folks. So, with that, we hope we've just jinxed the Golden Knights and it's Montreal in the Cup final against Tampa Bay, and hope that goes all the well there. But yeah, I think that's kind of where we're gonna end it on here on this note. So thank you to all of you who gave us a thumbs up. If you gave us a thumbs down, that obviously means you're a Golden Knights fan. So
that's fine.
Yeah, but whatever. In case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, Reddit, iHeartRadio, always available at tealtownusa.com. For more of that, check out, I believe Pucknologist is actually going tomorrow night, or some form of Pucknologist. I think I saw something like AJ mentioned that he's going to have some prizes to give away throughout the summer, so be on the lookout for that. But to wrap things up, Ian, thank you very much as always. We miss you, bud. I miss talking hockey, so it's always a good reason to chat. So, but your final thoughts on where do people find you?
Final thoughts. Obviously, I'm like I said, I'm hoping that the hockey this round surprises us, because I don't think it's going to be as great as it was last round. However, if you want to hear about some people, a bunch of jerk-offs talking about what the losing team should do going forward, Teal Tinted Glasses was on just a couple nights ago. You can definitely catch the replay. If you catch the replay on the YouTube, we did add chapters. So because it was an incredibly long show, if you're looking for just specific things that you want to hear about, you can just click on the little segmented bar and find the part you want to listen to. And you can check that out. So if you just want to listen to, what do we think about the draft, or, if you just want to listen to what we thought about the possibility of Jonathan Dahlen coming over, you can go through and just click on that part of the video and just watch that. So 5 thumbs down. It hurts my heart.
Yeah.
All right. Other than that, add Ian Vlogs Hockey on the Twitter machine. Come let me know why you thumbs downed us to death.
Yeah,
it's fine.
That'd be, yeah. So leave a
It's
comment
cool.
as to why.
Yeah, leave a comment.
Yeah,
leave a comment. Subscribe. All that
as
fun
to
stuff.
why the hell you put thumbs down. Sorry, we had to pick with, our betting hands opposed to our hearts. So our bad. I'm at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. We are working on some more content throughout the summer, and of course, like Ian said, Teal Tinted Glasses went Thursday night, so check that out. AJ should be back with Pucknologist tomorrow, and of course, we will have draft coverage, expansion draft coverage.
For sure.
Free agent frenzy coverage. We're going to be dissecting every little thing possible that we can do here at Teal Town USA to be more informed for you, for us Sharks fans who need more content. So appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching. The conversation will continue over on the Discord channel, so head on over there. And until then, keep it real. Keep it Teal. Keep it real Teal. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you very soon.